Hi, my name is Father Simon Lobo. I'm the pastor at St. Benedict Parish in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And recently we collaborated with flourishing congregations. They came and did some research on our parish. And one of the key findings was that at the heart of a flourishing congregation is visionary leadership. So this was both an affirmation to us because it's something in the water at St. Benedict. It's something that long before I got here, the leaders were trying to instill a culture of leadership, but also it's an aspiration. We're not there yet. We're still working to grow in leadership day by day. Now, when I think of leadership, there's the who. So that's the who we are as leaders and who are the people we're trying to develop, that at the heart of it as spiritual leaders, it's about a relationship with Jesus. And we have to constantly be working on that, growing in that. And we want to be the kind of people who display the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, that we would be those kinds of people that those fruits would be so evident. So that's kind of the who of being a spiritual leader. But in addition to that, there's some things that we need to do if we want to see our churches flourish. And three things. I love this framework. I'm borrowing it. I didn't come up with this myself, but three things to look at: vision, priorities, and people. To discern and cast vision, to clarify and communicate priorities, and then to equip and unleash people. So I want to go through those three one at a time. First, vision. To discern and cast the vision. Now, I love this definition from Divine Renovation. They speak of this God-given picture of the future that produces hope and passion in people. That's vision. And for us, it's so important to remember, and it's so freeing for me to hear this. I don't have to conjure up vision myself. It comes from God. And so what I did when I was trying to think about what's the vision of the future of my parish, I went to the chapel with a pen and paper and I asked God, what do you want us to be like 10 years from now? And I started to scribble down little ideas of what I felt he was stirring up. That's where the vision begins. And it's not done there. I started to bounce it off people I trust. And in time, as I was sharing it, casting it, seeing how it was being received, eventually to share that from the platform, because it actually inspires people to be thinking about the future of where we're going. That's vision. Secondly is priorities. To clarify and communicate priorities. Now, if you're like me, you want to do everything, everywhere, all at once, kind of like that movie by the same title. And frankly, I try as I might to do all these things, but I can't. And it ends up being a mess. And so leaders who want to lead congregations that are flourishing, we need to focus. We need to focus on doing a few things well. And in fact, sometimes the vision might encompass a whole bunch of things, but we have to choose, this is where we're going to start. We're going to do this one thing or these two things to begin, and in time we'll do other things. So to focus means saying yes to some things and saying no to other things, which can be hard for people who've been involved in your church for some time to receive, but leaders have to be courageous and find ways to include those people in the focused priorities for right now. How is the vision being lived out in this season is a great question to ask. So we've got vision, we have priorities, and then people, to equip and unleash people. And I find that the people piece of leadership is the best, it's the most satisfying and enjoyable, and it's also the most complicated because no two people are exactly the same. But to take the time to be looking out for people, to have these, what they call I see in you conversations, to invite them into leadership, to take the time to train them, to coach them, to help them along, give them a little bit more authority and responsibility bit by bit, and then to entrust them to go for it. And I find when we can help discern what a person's strengths or gifts are, their charisms, and match that with the needs of the church, when we can find those two, their strengths and the needs, we get this beautiful magic that happens where a person can feel so satisfied in serving. And so often I've thanked people, volunteers, for what they've done, and they're like, no, thank you for allowing me to contribute because it's been so meaningful for me. So vision, priorities, and people. Again, if we want our congregations to flourish, these are three areas we might focus our leadership towards. And I hope that this really helps you as you lead towards the future that God has in store for your churches.